I was crazy nervous as I tried to hold my balance. Someone from the crowd cheered, "Come on, Scarlett! You can do it!" Okay, here goes nothing. I took a deep breath. Even though these were only tryouts, practically half the school was there to see me perform. They were all cheering for me. I closed my eyes and started to roll. And your girl did not disappoint. Oh my god, I did it! Everyone applauded when I landed the perfect split. Just then, the gym door flew open, and my mom rushed in screaming, "Be careful with my baby!" I groaned, momentarily forgetting where I was and losing my balance. The next second, I was on the floor. Half the audience ran to help me up. Thankfully, Mom couldn't push past my adoring fans, but I could hear her yell, "Is she okay? You won't know! Let me pass!" But her screams were drowned out by all the boys asking me if I was okay. "I'm fine, guys. No biggie." The football captain laughed and said, "Darn! That was a nasty fall. But you didn't even flinch. You really are perfect." Why, thank you. Everyone laughed kindly as I brushed off my dress and took a bow. "Time to go home, young lady." "Hi, I'm Scarlett. I just been made captain of the cheerleading squad, and to everyone else, my life was perfect. But I have this rare condition called CIPA, which means I can't feel pain or hot and cold. My condition helped me make my crush fall in love with me. But shh, it's a secret." As soon as we got home, Mom started my daily body check. I rolled my eyes. "Seriously, Mom? I'm 16 now. I can do it myself." But Mom wasn't listening. She was staring in horror at something on my elbow. "Just look at this! You'll end up killing yourself and you won't even know." "It's just a scratch, Mom." "A scratch? Any more scratches like this and I'll have you homeschooled again." I groaned. Jeez. Mom was always overreacting. "I hurt my leg that one time, Mom. I was 8. "I'm sorry, that one time? Need I remind you of the state of your perfect leg?" "Ugh, fine." She had a point. When I was 8, I fell off a swing and injured my leg. But because I couldn't feel pain, I didn't know how bad it was. When the doctor realized the week after, I ended up with a prosthetic leg. But that was ancient history now. Mom just wouldn't get over it. Suddenly the door slammed open and my younger sister, Brooke, barged in. "Mom! You said you'd take me shopping today. I'm still waiting." "Oh, yes, I forgot. I'm busy now. We'll go another day." "What? Oh my god, no, Mom! You've been stalling for like 2 weeks. I need a new outfit for the spring dance." By this point, Mom wasn't even listening. But Brooke looked at me with anger and stormed out of the room, yelling, "I don't need your stupid sympathy. I need you to get out of my life." A few weeks later, as I was putting my books in my locker before practice, someone said, "So, you want to be my date for the spring dance tonight, dollface?" Dollface? Ew? Where was I? In some tacky noir movie? I looked up to see who it was and saw the captain of the football team. Oh, of course. Ever since I'd been promoted to captain of the cheer squad, every jock in school was on a mission to claim me. But this guy was the most persistent. One day, I found my locker full of gifts and hundreds of love letters. It took me an hour to find my chemistry notes. Another day, I was in the cafeteria when I said, "I love pizza." Suddenly, he jumped up and announced, "Free pizza for everyone!" I gasped in horror. He didn't even wait for me to finish. I told him I really wasn't planning on going with anyone tonight. I couldn't imagine how Mom would react. Half the time, she acted like breathing was an extreme sport. But thankfully, at that moment, a crowd of people started rushing to the parking lot. Someone yelled, "The new kid has an Audi!" Within minutes, the entire school was gathered around the car, breathless to see the owner. I rolled my eyes, like waving candy in front of a baby's face. But just as I was about to leave, the owner of the car stepped out. For a minute, I was starstruck. This was the most handsome guy I'd ever seen. And clearly, I wasn't the only one who thought so. All the girls began to ooh and ah. The most interesting thing was that he seemed to not even notice anyone. He walked away from the crowd and headed straight over to me. I froze. Why was he coming over here? He looked at me and our eyes met. He hesitated and I felt my knees getting weak. Then his eyes filled with anger and said, "Move out of my way." I jumped away like I'd been electrocuted. As soon as he went past me, it was like everything returned to normal. And immediately, the captain appeared and said, "So, about that date." That evening when I got home, Brooke practically skipped over to me. She looked really happy. "You know that new guy, Connor? He's coming to the spring dance tonight. He won't say no to me if I wear your black outfit. Mom didn't take me shopping because of you." With that, she grabbed the dress and was gone before I could say a word. I slumped onto the bed and decided to watch videos on my favorite YouTube channel, My Story Animated. I just put on my favorite one. My psycho mom is obsessed with healthy food. At least this would cheer me up. Mom suddenly barged in through the door and snapped, "You're not going to this dance, are you?" I rolled my eyes and said I might go for a bit, and Mom quickly forbade me. She said since she wouldn't be able to come with me to keep an eye on me, I couldn't go. Kids do all sorts of crazy things at these parties. You might hit your head or injure your other leg. You wouldn't even know. So you're not going. But Mom, she just slammed the door. Ugh, it was so annoying how she was always in my face. I could hear Brooke dancing around as she got ready. Now that Mom had said I wasn't allowed, I really wanted to go. So I waited for Brooke to leave and Mom to go to her room. Then I put on my turquoise evening dress, grabbed my heels, and tiptoed down the stairs. The minute I was at the door, I broke into a run. Suddenly, a car came racing towards me. I screamed and in my panic froze on the spot. A loud horn blared and the car stopped just inches from me. Are you out of your mind? What happened? Are you okay? When I finally realized what was happening, I immediately pretended to be hurt and cried, Ow! It hurts! It hurts! I didn't even touch you! I wasn't sure if he was lying or not, so I just shouted, Are you calling me a liar after you almost ran me over? He helped me onto the hood of his car and looked for any injuries. I blushed. I couldn't believe Connor was helping me out so tenderly. As I got off the hood, I pretended to limp. But to my utter embarrassment, I lost my balance and ended up on top of him. I'm sorry! But then I heard Connor mutter under his breath, You're breathtaking. I'm sorry, what? Did I hear him right? Then he abruptly pushed me off. I'm sorry. I was confused till I saw what he meant. He accidentally stepped on my foot. I began to jump up and down again. Oh, my foot! My poor foot! He quickly opened the door of his car and helped me get in. When he pulled up at the dance, everyone looked at us in shock. Someone whispered, Makes sense for them to come together. They look perfect. I blushed, wondering if he'd heard it too. But of course, Mr. Connor had just disappeared. The captain of the football team rushed over to my side and grabbed my hand. Dance with me. You're my date for the night. Ugh, him again. I pointed to my foot and said, Oh no, I hurt my foot. I couldn't possibly. But to my utter shock, he just pulled me to the dance floor. One dance never killed anyone. I was getting really annoyed now. Do you not get consent? I turned to see Connor glaring down at the guy. My heart fluttered. Was Connor rescuing me? My hero. Immediately, everyone gathered around us. The captain took one look around him, then dropped my hand. Somehow, Connor had that impact on everyone. No one wanted to mess with him. I stepped towards Connor to thank him, but before I could say a word, my eyes landed on Brooke. She glared at me before rushing over, dragging me aside, away from Connor. I thought Mom said you couldn't come, and now you've hurt yourself in front of Connor to get his sympathy? You're disgusting! What? No, Brookie, that's not what happened. But before I could explain, something even worse than Brooke happened. Mom came in, yelling my name. Scarlett! Scarlett! As soon as she saw me, she rushed over and started shouting for an ambulance. My baby is hurt! Someone call 911! My baby! I tried to tell her that I was fine, but she dragged me away, saying we had to go to the hospital as soon as possible. On my way out, I tried to catch Connor's eye, but he suddenly seemed determined to avoid me. The doctor said I was all good, but Mom didn't seem convinced. When we got home, Brooke was already back, and she was fuming. Before she could yell at me, I turned to Mom and said, Mom, I'm tired of you following me around everywhere. If you ever try to embarrass me like that again, I promise you I'll just move out. She looked shocked and said, I'm doing this for your own good. Just don't, please. There's gotta be another way. I can't have you showing up at school every day like that. For a minute, she looked stunned. And then she slumped onto the sofa, looking heartbroken. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The next words out of her mouth made me want to jump out the window. You know what? You're right. You don't need me all the time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mom. When you've got your sister. We both yelled. What? I tried to tell Mom that's not what I meant. But she didn't listen and said I chose cheerleading against her will and that it's a dangerous sport. Brooke looked furious, and then she stormed out, saying, You'll regret this big time. And regret it, I did. The next day, I tried to talk to Connor alone. But as if it weren't bad enough that he was avoiding me for God knows what reason, Brooke kept following me around the school. I finally found Connor alone in the library. I tiptoed up to him. Hi, I was wondering where I could find a copy of Pride and Prejudice. I'm not the librarian. He immediately turned his back on me. How mean. I know, but I just thought maybe. I tried my luck again, but whenever I tried to face him, he turned away. Leave me alone! He tried to rush past me just as I decided to step in his way again, and suddenly our foreheads bumped. Ow! Oh my God, Scarlett, what a smooth move. Hit the hottie in the head, why don't ya? I'm so sorry. Impulsively, I reached up and pushed his hair out of his eyes to check his head. He stared at me, and I suddenly realized what appeared. Immediately, Connor kissed Connor? I'm going to the cafe. Yes, I can see you're starving. In the cafeteria, as soon as I sat down, all the jocks started flocking around me. Immediately, Brooke danced up to me, smiling and said, I almost forgot. I got you a bar of chocolate. Then she stuffed it into my mouth. Thanks. The boys around me started panicking. I grabbed my phone and was shocked to see my swollen face. I literally looked like a pufferfish. Were there peanuts in the bar, Brooke? I'm allergic to peanuts. Oh no, I forgot. Someone immediately rushed me home. For a few days after that, I couldn't go to school, but I didn't miss much. It was like the whole school was sending me flowers and gifts and whatnot. A few guys even came to my house. But there was one gift that really caught my eye. It was a small package. I opened it up and gasped. It was a copy of Pride and Prejudice. Had Connor sent this? My heart fluttered at the very thought. Apparently, Brooke thought so too. Because as soon as she saw it, she tried to throw it away. I had to fish it out of the trash. I was thrilled. My life really, truly was perfect. But perfection was an illusion. And the next day, my illusion shattered. As soon as I walked to my locker, I noticed papers scattered on the floor and everywhere. They looked like pages from a book. Or a diary. And a very familiar one at that. A horrible thought entered my head. And I snatched up one of the sheets. Almost passing out. My gut feeling was right. It was a page from my diary. I rushed to my locker and saw something that totally crushed me. Across the front, someone had painted Frankenstein. From a corner of the room, the football captain yelled, "Thank God I broke up with her." What was he talking about? I yelled back, "We were never together." "Can we be now? I don't care about your condition. So what?" I ignored him and rushed to find Brooke. She was in the cafeteria surrounded by a huge crowd. "Do you know who could have done this?" "It could be anyone. You keep your diary in your bag." "I think my life is over." "Oh, come on. You're super pretty and popular. Why don't you relax? Here, drink this iced coffee." Just as I was about to drink it, someone snatched the cup away from me. I looked up in surprise to see Connor. "It's boiling hot. She's trying to trick you. Look at your hands. They're blistering already." I glared at Brooke, and she looked terrified. But before I could even touch her, she returned to everyone and said that she regretted being related to someone like me and that they should know the truth. "You guys never wondered why she's good at doing splits? It's her lit." I jumped at her and was about to punch her. "You little witch!" But Connor dragged me away. We sat in the backyard, and Connor said, "So it's true, huh?" I told him about my rare condition. So, yes, it's true. I'm a freak. Just because you're different doesn't mean you're a freak. In fact, you're like Wonder Woman. And that's pretty cool, Scarlett. It's not that easy, you know. Exploded around me. As we headed back inside, I was stunned to see Mom marching over to me. She was dragging Brooke by the ear. "Scarlett! My baby! Are you all right?" The principal called me. "Mom, relax." "Relax? How can I when my own child, my own flesh and blood, is doing such terrible things? I'm going to ground her till college." "No, Mom, it's not Brookie's fault. You're always so focused and worried about me. You're always leaving poor Brooke alone." Mom froze. "What? What are you talking about?" "It's true, Mom. If you were fair to her, she wouldn't be so mad at me. So if you really want to change someone, it's gotta be you." Both Brooke and Mom looked shocked, and then suddenly, Brooke burst into tears. I rushed over to her and hugged her. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "It's okay, Brookie. I'm here. I forgive you. We're all here for you." Mom started to cry too, and she hugged us, apologizing for all the times she was unfair. Behind Mom, I saw Connor and pulled him into the hug. They were all my family now.